Greetings and welcome to today's show. My name is Ariella Indigo and I'm your host for Season 2 of the Multidimensional Human Experience Global Summit. And in this season, we're talking all about the topic of ascension and how to fast track our spiritual evolutionary paths. So I know there's so much information available to us about awakening and ascension, which we are truly blessed to have, because I know that hasn't always been the case, right? But I can also still know from my own experience and talking to other people that it can often feel like a maze as well. So much information is out there. So especially if people are just first awakening, or even if you've been on your path for a long time, it can feel like a maze. So that's why I'm grateful to have leaders and way showers like my incredible guest today, Raquel Spencer, who can lead us out of the maze. And I think Raquel's tagline says it all when it says, guiding you through the BS and beyond so that you can get on with what you're here to do. I really love that. So I felt very strongly that I wanted to interview Raquel after so many people reached out to me in season 1 that I did last year, basically saying, get her on your show. She is amazing. So I'm truly excited to have this conversation today. And Raquel's here on an amazing mission and is doing some awesome global service work, helping people to remove blocks out of their matrix so they can come into physical alignment with their divine self, their higher self, and be more of who they truly are and open up to their multidimensionality. So can't wait to talk about that. And I know that she's got an incredible backstory herself about how she came into these gifts and her own awakening journey. So I'm hoping that she'll share a bit of that story with us today. So Raquel, a very warm welcome to the show. It's absolutely amazing to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. Hello, everyone.
So I'd love to start off just by asking you to share a bit about this incredible backstory of yours, just so we can position how this went and also understand how you came into these amazing gifts.
So my story started 33 years ago, guys. That's a long time. Some of you may not have even been born yet. I don't know what your demographic is. But my journey started 33 years ago. I was 20 years old. I was, trying to figure out my life and working and being 20. And all of a sudden one morning I woke up and I knew something was going on. And I had always been an intuitive little kid, just like all of us, and had gone through, the socialization of turning all of those gifts off. But I knew at that particular moment something was happening, and had the wits about me and the guts to pick up the phone and call my family and say, okay, something's up, please come get me. And gratefully, my family listened. And that was 33 years ago. I slipped into a coma that actually lasted 5 weeks. And during that coma, I was pronounced dead 3 times, bless my family and everybody who went through that, because I did not have the go into the light death experience. I didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. 5 weeks later, I woke up and everything was the same and nothing was the same. And I went back to work in the regular world, and I went back and tried to make my life as normal as possible. But over the next 5 years, so it took me 5 years to integrate what had happened during the 5-week coma. So for every week I was under, it took a year to assimilate. Okay, so this was back in 1985, so a long time ago, between 85 and 90. I really started to integrate into the physicality and into the consciousness what had transpired during that particular 5-week coma. And we have to think back. OMG, 1985, there was no internet.
Yeah.
There was barely anything out there to read or connect with or anything. So when I really started the assimilation, I was pretty alone and thinking that I was pretty much going crazy because I started to remember. I started to see multidimensionally. I started to realize that there was a lot more going on than what my physical senses in the 3D could really explain. Mm-hmm. And so it was a very interesting time. And for 5 years, I walked between the worlds, really thinking I was going nuts because there was no internet, there was no summits, there was nobody was talking about it. Yeah. At that point in time. The harmonic convergence happened in 1987, which was 2 years after my coma.
Right. Mm.
So putting things into perspective. Okay, yeah. So I never heard about the harmonic convergence when it was happening, only years and years later. But that's the time frame in which I really came into my gifts. And I started getting guidance that seemed kind of crazy. But for some reason, I had the courage, guts, craziness, adventuresome enough of a spirit to follow those intuitions. And spirit started guiding me to go to many locations around the globe. Now, I was, in my early 20s, working, trying to make a living, trying to figure it all out, and would get the hit to, you need to go to South America, you need to go, to Machu Picchu, you need to go to Bali, you need to go to these places. And that was a big stretch because I didn't understand why. And most of the time it was under a ruse. It was under you're going to go on vacation, ha, 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 type of thing. And I would get to these locations and major experiences would happen that would continue my awakening and my unraveling of my gifts.
Right.
And so.
Interesting.
Pardon?
Yeah, what sorts of experiences would you have? That sounds interesting.
Oh my gosh. So one of the very first places I ended up going was Machu Picchu. And it was kind of crazy. I had gone with a friend to a conference, my very first it was in San Francisco. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a spiritual conference because I was starting to wake up and have these weird things. And my friend said, there's some kind of metaphysical conference going on. And I lived in Sacramento at the time. So it was like an hour-and-a-half drive. And we decided to go and had several experiences, even at that conference, mainly of other leaders recognizing me. And actually pulling me out of a crowd of 10,000, 20,000 people and acknowledging who I was and what I was here to do.
Wow.
And so that was really good confirmation for things, people like, I can't even think of their names now, major authors from the 80s and 90s that were kind of big on the stage at that point. Mm-hmm. And I walked past a table called Power Place Tours. And they had a picture of a journey they were doing to some place called Machu Picchu. And I walked by and stopped dead in my tracks and looked at my friend and said, holy shit, I think I'm supposed to go there. Where's there? I had no idea where it was. I had no money. I had no passport. And these were the days when it took six to 8 weeks through the post office and you had to go. And the process was crazy. And it was leaving in like 4 weeks. And it was like, at that moment in time, I looked at my friend and said, I have no idea how the hell I'm going to do this. I don't think I have enough credit on my credit card. Holy shit, I'm going to Machu Picchu. Where is that? Where is that? I don't even know where that is. And she's like, calm down. It's, she was beautiful. She goes, that's in South America. That's a third world country. I don't think you should go. And I'm like, I have to go. I have to go. And so it was things like that. And I ended up going to Machu Picchu. It was over the summer solstice. I ended up, it was a big group. It was like 100 people. I ended up being guided to spend the night inside Machu Picchu, which I found out later was illegal, by myself, and slept on the sun disk inside Machu Picchu on the summer solstice.
Right. Wow.
And had massive downloads and memories and merging come in. So that's, I mean, and I laid there on the sun disk overnight by myself, lying there shaking as the downloads came into my matrix. And I didn't even know what that was. I wouldn't, the terminology, thank goodness, the terminology that we do now supports the experience, because back then, again, computers weren't even, I mean, we were barely had major IBM massive processors at work. There was no such thing as a personal computer, or even in the web. World Wide Web didn't even exist yet, guys, okay? But the terminology that's come with all of this, the downloads, the upgrades, it's perfect to describe what's happening right now with us in this ascension process. Because if you read a little bit further in my bio, I describe us as supercomputers of light.
Yeah, I love that.
My vision, okay, the way I don't see light beings. I don't see angels. I don't see that way. When I see energy, and I see grids and blueprints and templates and really sophisticated light structures. That's how I've always seen. I've never seen anything else. And so my very first visual was literally of the grid systems. Okay, so that's how I see multidimensionally.
Yes.
Okay, so I've never had the context of, oh, this is the light being of so-and-so, or this group, or angelics. No, I see how the creation of this matrix actually exists in the energetic form. And that's how I've always seen. Okay.
Wow, it's amazing.
So when we go back to really talking about us as supercomputers, that's the way I've always seen it. And when I really look at someone, when I look at the total context of someone, which I rarely do, okay, because it's too big. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I really step back and take a glimpse, which I do every blue moon, because most of the time I'm going into very specific parts of the matrix. I'm working on specific things at that particular time. It's a very laser focused type of energy versus really seeing the big picture, because the big picture is so overwhelming. The mind can't grasp it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what I started seeing, even back in those very first days when I was going all over the planet, I started to receive the downloads of the planetary grid systems, the consciousness grid systems, the human grid systems, okay, which I term as the Matrix. And again, this is long before the movie The Matrix came out. I mean, decade before all of this really started to come out. So the terminology I was using was destined to come forward. Yeah. Which was beautiful to help explain my terminology and my vocabulary and the way that I use to describe what I'm seeing. So I started out, I mean, really without any foundational piece at all to build all of this on.
Yeah.
And we started using that terminology. So I ended up going all over the planet in various formats and reasons to open up, to receive, to anchor, to awaken myself, along with everything that happened in between those places and going on those kinds of journeys, to where I started to remember. I've never trained anything on this planet. I'm not a Reiki master. I haven't studied anybody else's modalities at all. What I do is from complete memory and connection.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was saying to you before, I don't read other people's books. I don't listen to other speakers. I don't. And I've been very clearly guided to do that because it keeps me really clear.
Yeah.
I think I've been allowed to read 5 or 6 metaphysical books in my lifetime, which shifted me profoundly. But just to read or learn or study, or it's never happened.
Wow.
So everything I do is from complete memory. And after those 5 years of walking between worlds and getting the downloads and following my guidance and doing what I thought was crazy shit back then, of jumping on a plane and going by myself to a country I've never heard of, to a place I didn't know, to do something that I didn't know was illegal, and sleep overnight by myself, you know, in Machu Picchu types of experiences, I really began to understand the gifts that I hold to be able to help other people fast track their awakening. And that's really what I do. I don't teach you anything. I am not a teacher by any respects, and I don't really say that as much, although all my clients say, oh yes you are, oh yes you are, oh yes you are. But I'm not teaching you anything. What I do in the work that I do is I clear your personal supercomputer. I get it running at the highest level you can consciously handle when you do my work, okay, when you consistently do my work. And the analogy with the computer systems, which I love, all of us now, maybe not 10 years ago, but now understand, okay, you do an upgrade, that's great for about 3 weeks. I mean, you have to continuously upgrade your software. You have to continuously upgrade your hardware.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just do one and go, okay, I'm set, because everything else is shifting around you.
Can you not hold your frequency though after it's...
Pardon?
Can you not hold yourself to a frequency?
It doesn't matter. If you hold it a frequency, it's not the highest frequency 24 hours later. You have to continue to upgrade yourself and clear yourself. What was the highest frequency a month ago is now like, so
sure.
it's about continuing to clear, continuing to refine, continuing to upgrade the speed, the connection. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't stay status quo.
No, I understand that. I just meant, couldn't you like hold your frequency and then like raise your frequency? Because we can raise our frequency ourselves as well, right? So can we not just do that?
If you're doing the work.
Yeah.
If you're doing the work. And if everything, the whole thing of it is, I'm an accelerator.
Yeah.
The work that I do is an accelerator for you.
Yeah.
You'll get there eventually. It's just my work helps to accelerate the process and support you in a way that really helps you navigate this shift in consciousness. Mm-hmm. And so let's go back to what really, I mean, my work is all about helping you fast track, helping you raise your frequency, get connected better, continue to clear, continue to unravel, continue to make those connections so that you can stay in alignment as in the biggest percentage that you possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay? Because people have great awakenings and then they go back into the old patterns because, you know, and I talk about you being a supercomputer, and I talk about, you know, we understand what a virus is. Now we understand what holding old files on the computer is. A lot of us, I didn't know this for almost a decade after I started taking and working with a computer, but I thought when I deleted a file, it was gone. Ha, ha, ha. I didn't know it was still on the hard drive. I didn't know it was still there. You had to go beyond just hitting delete to really remove it from the system. And so that's the analogy, again, I use with my work. You're a supercomputer. you do the work and hit delete, thinking, oh, I've gone through and cleared that. It's still on your hard drive. The whole energetic pattern often is still lodged in the hard drive.
Yes.
And so that's why you come back into those old patterns, into those old thought processes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's really, when we talk about the ascension process and being multidimensional and what that really means in this reality.
I would love to get your take on that. Yeah.
Okay, so what do I think the ascension process really is?
Yeah.
Okay. In my humble understanding, the ascension process is not about getting out of here. Okay? It's not about living your life out in the higher realms and going on journeys and going out of your body and all of that. Ascension to me is fully embodying your higher self into this physical reality and being able to stay connected and fully aware while you're awake. Not in your meditation, not in your dream state, not when you're journeying, when you're at the damn grocery store standing in line. Mm-hmm. When you are doing your normal 3D, to be able to maintain that connection that many started to learn through meditation, through journeying. Those were the kindergarten baby steps. Okay, you had to experience it, you had to learn how to meditate, and you had to learn to listen and hear and get guidance. But most people still only get that when they're in that meditative state, when they're in dream state, when they're in that, that altered state of consciousness. Mm-hmm. To me, the ascension is about bringing that in, anchoring your higher self, and having that connection 24/7, regardless of what you're doing.
I love that description. Thank you. I love that description. Can I ask a question at this point?
Sure.
You've mentioned your higher self, mm-hmm. embodying that into physical form, and I love that description. What to you is your higher self? Do you believe that we have souls?
I absolutely believe we have souls. I absolutely believe that you have multiple layers, okay? You reside within many frequency bands of light, okay? Your unique signature frequency. I have a unique signature frequency. You have a unique signature frequency. And if you were looking at a spectrum of light, and each one was a band of light frequency, you exist within all of them, okay? Mm-hmm. So here's you as a soul. This is an interesting analogy I'm trying to pull off here.
Yeah, I like it.
Here's 3D. Here's 4D. Yeah. Here's 5D. Here's 60. Here's 70. Here's 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D, 13D. You exist within all of them. Mm-hmm. Can you make the connection to communicate and understand and interpret that stream of consciousness that is you through all of those dimensional bands of light? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good, great question.
Are you able to connect in? Are you able to understand what your divine essence signature frequency is communicating to you, and are you able to interpret and use that information in this band frequency or in 5D? Okay.
So now, for you, Raquel, quick question, because I love that. I love that analogy and how you've explained that. So with the ascension process, with what you've just described,
I've never done that before. Right? This is the model. Sorry.
Are you saying that ascension is going from 3D to 4D to 5D to 6D and so on up?
No. What I'm saying is ascension is, here you are in physical format in this holographic reality, and being able to communicate and understand all spectrums of what's coming through your higher self.
But does that, okay, thank you. But does that come in stages?
Absolutely.
Or do we just open to the whole gamut?
Your personality is not able in this current capacity to take all of that in and not go crazy. Okay? It has to be incremental. It has to be in stages of unlocking the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. And that's what raising your frequency is all about.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you went boom, which a lot of people have, you lose it. Consciousness and your personality can't merge, and you go crazy, and you're not really able to integrate it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ascension process, okay, is about bringing in your physical energetic signature frequency to embody in the physical body. Okay. Mm-hmm. I do talk about that quite a bit because it's how much light is actually in your cellular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's called your light quotient. And to how much light you're actually holding in your physical being.
Mm-hmm.
And how that connects with and shifts, changes the neural processors, your nervous system, the interface between your senses and higher frequencies of light, so that you can consciously integrate and interpret the information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one of the things that I loved about the movies, okay, so let's go back to The Matrix. We all know the green thing streaming down of data, okay? So if we were to take that analogy of this streaming of light consciousness data that's coming in, and you think about the matrix and the format, how many of you could understand what was coming in?
Yeah.
The capacity of your nervous system and your neural pathways, your brain, and all of the structures of the body, because the body was originally designed to be multidimensional.
Yes.
Your organs, your glands, your nervous system were all originally designed to be able to interpret that kind of stream of consciousness. Mm-hmm. We've been in atrophy for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I'm doing in my particular niche of the world of metaphysical awakening is I'm helping to reconnect and reestablish the blueprint step by step by step by step to be able to interpret and integrate the consciousness coming in a way that you can translate and understand it.
That's awesome, because I was literally about to say, how can we do this safely, Raquel? Because yeah, you've said it. Some people go pop. Some people will go mad. You know, your awakening, you were in a coma for 5 weeks. I nearly died, right? And I know so many of our viewers have these types of stories as well. And awakening can be incredibly intense, as we all know. So that was going to be my question. How can we do this safely? And how can we give our viewers some reassurance that they don't have to keep on going through crisis after crisis, right, in order to embody more light?
Well, and that's the whole point. Those of us who, you know, I went through a very intense 5-week coma. I did that so that people now don't have to.
Right.
You know, they had to put me out for 5 weeks. Think about that. Unconscious for 5 weeks to download into my system and upgrade this knowledge and this ability. Okay. And I continue. I'm on the ascension process just like everybody else. I'm just a few steps faster so that I can help those, so you don't have to continue to go through the crisis. The more that your body systems, and just think about your computer. If you're trying, you know, and I love the analogy too. This was one of my old analogies, but damn, it's still good, okay? If you had an old dial-up phone, okay, and you're trying to connect to G3 or 4G right now, hello, it's telephone. It looks like you knew what it was supposed to do. It doesn't have hardware to connect into the software, okay? It just doesn't. Even if you had one of those old Motorola flip phones, okay, that's not a smartphone. That can't connect. So what we're doing with the work that I do, okay, and part of the ascension awakening process is to continue to upgrade the hardware so you can access the software. Okay, the hardware is your body and your energetic systems. The software is the light data coming in from your higher levels of consciousness. So we continue to upgrade, clear, get rid of the viruses, get rid of the old programs, get rid of the old templates of light, clear, upgrade, enhance, fortify, strengthen this mechanism that is the body, which is our only way to connect into consciousness in this reality. Okay, we keep upgrading it so that that flow and that intensity, you know, and back to again 30 years ago, okay, when computers were just coming out, it would be what, 4 years before the next version came out. We're lucky if we have 3 months anymore. And you know that's going to 2 months and 1 month. And I mean, we just don't have the time, the luxury of that linear thinking that doesn't really exist, but it does. We live in that, to have the downtime to integrate. And so again, the ascension process, it's going full bore. It's like, but it's how much can you integrate? How fast can you integrate? How supercharged is your body? How quickly are you getting the downloads and being able to upgrade your system? And that's because it's available to everyone. I mean, it's happening to everyone. Yeah. Whether they really understand it or not, they're just getting flattened. Okay, they're in crisis. They don't know what it is. They just don't understand it. Okay, and the spiritual community, they're aware that shit's going on and that things are happening and that everything's accelerated and they can feel it. And it's about how fast can you integrate? How much downtime do you really need? Are you able to then interpret more as we continue to go through this process? And again, I just accelerate your body's ability to do that.
Awesome. Amazing mission. Sounds like you really hold people as they go through this incredible process.
Yeah. And I continue to bring through new things constantly because it's not a one-stop shop. It's not I've bought my iPhone now, no big deal. How often does that need to have new upgrades? And so it's a continuous process. It's a continuous process for me. And it's a continuous process for everyone who is on this journey. And it's just, how gracefully can we do it?
Yeah, with ease and grace.
Ease and grace.
Ease and grace. So Raquel, what is your take on some people are saying that in order to ascend, we can't have any bad thoughts, any negative thoughts, which I know is a duality thing anyway. That we need to remove the emotional triggers completely. Some people are also saying that in order to ascend, you have to be on a certain diet, right? You can't eat meat, things like that. What is your take on all of that stuff and what advice?
Okay, so let's first of all talk about ascending. Because my definition of ascending is descending.
Yeah, pulling it down.
It's bringing it down and walking in this reality as a way shower. Okay, just like as your matrix and supercomputer upgrades and you hold new blueprints, okay, the more of us that are hitting these levels of consciousness, these vibratory frequencies, holding the new templates of light, okay, the easier it becomes for others on the planet to actually begin to awaken, right? Okay, so the whole process of this ascension, okay, is to change our physical and energetic templates so that we can hold that in this hologram, in this reality, okay, so that we can be the way showers and the forerunners so that the rest of humanity has an opportunity to remember who they are. Okay. So my idea of ascension is not, we're all on an individualized path, okay, but it's not to get out of here. I am in no illusion, okay, that, because a lot of people talk about, oh, we're going to go into 5D body and our light bodies and we're going to ascend and there's a new earth, and I don't buy into any of that. Okay, we came into this reality to shift the overall matrix, the consciousness, mass consciousness grids of the planet, to save, that's not the right word, to help the rest of humanity remember who they are and start on the process, okay? We're here, in my humble opinion, and I'm going to get on my soapbox here, you can feel it.
Please do.
To work as a soul group to set the blueprints, okay? I do not believe for 1 second that we are going to turn into light bodies and poof, go into a new reality of living on a new earth. We're here to change this one. Okay? We are not here to go into a higher state of awareness on a 5D planet that is split off from this one. And no, guys, we're here to change this reality for everyone.
And why are we here to do that, Raquel?
Why?
What's the bigger picture even than that? Why are we doing that?
Because there are a lot of souls on this planet, brothers and sisters of light, because we all come from the same source, okay, ultimately. There are billions, more than, think about it, more than ever has been on this planet, because this is the ticket, this is the key. So many souls that have not been able to remember, that have gone so far down the rabbit hole that the connection to source is so severed, and they're locked into this reincarnation karma game. We're here to unlock this reincarnation karma game for the billions plus souls that are, I mean, every soul that's locked into this is vying to get into a body. We have more physical bodies on this planet than have ever been here, because we are in a window opportunity right now and the next, hear me on this. I want everyone to hear me on this. The next 500 years. This mission is a 500 to 700 year mission. Okay, everybody get that? It's a 500 to 700 year mission, window of cosmic time. When we have it's almost a Hail Mary, okay? Last ditch to come in here to change the energetic matrix of the human body and the mass consciousness grids on this planet, so that the 7 billion plus souls here can start to reconnect that connection to their own higher self, to start to remember we're all in this together. Okay?
Thank you, Raquel. That's an awesome answer. The 500 to 700 year mission, whereabouts are we on that timeline now? Do you have an understanding of that?
25 years, 30 years. Okay, it started with a harmonic convergence in 87. That was the tipping point. That's when the decision was made that the soul groups would all come in. We already started to, we've been born in. It was a tipping point at that point. Were we going to move forward with this plan?
Mm-hmm.
Or were we just going to experience human experience again? And then those of us who had already moved through the lessons and the learning would just then continue on. Mm-hmm. But on the harmonic convergence in 1987, the decision was made that we were going to do everything we could. We said yes to this cosmic window and this opportunity to change the matrix and the blueprints and the signature frequencies of the human body enough that it could come out of atrophy and reconnect to remembering that we're all one and have that connection. So I love it when there's so many people that it's like, oh, this is my last time. This is my last time. And I'm like, oh, honey, you're going to go up there and you're going to go, okay, let's do it again. I know we can make more progress. And we're all going to come back. And we're going to come back and come back and come back over the next few years, because those of us who are doing this work, we're shifting the physical matrix. We are setting the blueprint. And as we do that, and as we're more in this world, as we are out in the world, as we are working in commerce and being with the people, those people are then being exposed to the changes and shifts, and being in our fields affect them. And it's a knock on their consciousness. Okay, remember, just by being in our fields. And the more of us, the millions of us that are here, okay, and I don't think 1 million are awake. I think maybe 500,000 are really doing the work, okay? But as those numbers grow, just like the 100th monkey syndrome, okay, the more those numbers grow and the more of us who have shifted the fields and our matrix of light, our supercomputer, the faster we can help the other billion of people on this planet who are here that are just vying to get into body, so that they can shift out of this karmic experience and move on.
Thank you. Amazing answer. And I just want to celebrate everybody in this audience, because you said 500,000 people are doing the work.
I don't even think that many really are. I think there's 500,000 or maybe 1 million who are dipping their toe and going, oh, I think there's something to this. Oh, spiritual. I want to be spiritual. I'm saying the hardcore people that are doing the work, that are shifting, holding new levels of light frequency, shifting their own matrix, and then that has an effect to be able to move out into the world and affect more. Okay. Yes, this is an individualized experience, but we are not, those of us that are masters of light, we're masters of light. Okay. We know how to do this shit. We are the specialty team that came in to fast track this so that the rest of the souls don't get lost. I mean, they're already lost, but this is a Hail Mary. Can we bring them out of this? Or are they going to be lost forever? And this is really where we are. Because Earth is the last planet in this solar system and in this particular galaxy that is moving up the energetic spiral. Yes. This is the big game. This is the ticket. And if you are here and if you are listening to people like you and me, okay, you are a freaking specialist in this. We wouldn't have had you come in and embody and awaken if you weren't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So let's get this shit done, because we got work to do.
So on that note, how can we?
Sorry, get me on my soapbox. It's like, come on, guys, let's do this.
It's awesome. I like the power with which you speak and your message and you lead. I really appreciate that, and thank you for not mincing your words, because we don't have time to waste, right? And like you say, we've got to liberate ourselves and many, many, many other souls. So on that note, and with that in mind, I want us to talk a bit about and just invite you to explain to the viewers how they can accelerate their own ascension paths, their own spiritual evolutionary paths. And I know you have got an incredible special offer to talk to them about, which is going to help with that, right?
Right. Okay, so I'm really excited to tell you about my special offer. This is a package I've put together for all of you. It's going to help you fast track, okay? Like I said, my work is about helping you be the best that you can be, being able to connect in with your higher self, integrate all of these changes, shift and hold higher frequencies of light. And so the package that I put together, I focused on two things, okay? Self-love, which is a big thing that a lot of people don't understand. They don't even get it. We've been so programmed and so conditioned for generations, for thousands of years, about self-love and what that is and what that's not and how, okay. So this one is talking about self-love, and the second one is talking about spirituality and getting you connected. So it's 6.5 hours of activations, and the activations, they meet you where you are in the now moment. So each one of these, there's 6 hour long, one of them's 90 minutes long activations. And what you do is you go in with an open heart, and I work directly with your higher self, and we go through and we upshift, clear, align, download, upgrade your system, okay? And so the theme of the first 3 in the spiritual love, or self-love, is all about sacred self-love, helping to open up the pathways and clear out the belief systems around what self-love is and what it's not. The second one is clearing self-sabotage, which I think everybody should listen to at least once a month, if not more, okay, because we go through levels, we go through stages. Think about, for some of you, maybe you've never had to do this. I've had to do this. Losing weight. You lose a bunch of weight and then you hit a plateau, and then you lose more and you hit a plateau, and then you gain some back and you hit another plateau, and then you go. So it's the same way with the ascension process. We clear and we hit a plateau, okay? And we have to stabilize our consciousness, our personality has to assimilate to that level. And then we hit a plateau, and then we need something to help jar us into the next level again. Okay, or a new download comes onto the planet, which happens all the time, and our body doesn't know how to deal with it. Okay, yeah. You can go back and you can listen to these activations again if your soul tells you to, if your higher self tells you to. Clearing self-sabotage is one of the ones I would recommend listening to more than once. The next one is embodying self-confidence. Okay, so many on this path. We've had so many lifetimes of being told we're not good enough, of having to hide our gifts, of not, a lot of us are women that are actually awakening right now in this time frame. And for eons, we've been oppressed, okay? So having self-confidence is something we have to shift back into and clear the energetic patterns up. So this is what starting to embody more self-confidence. So that's the first section. The second one is spirituality. And this is all about connecting, getting your connections, getting connected into higher streams of consciousness more effectively, with more ease and grace. And so the first one is connecting to the web of light. The second one is called integrating your trinity of light. The third one is accessing new light streams, okay? I do a lot. It's really hard to name these. I always have to name them after I bring them through, because I never know what's coming. And so I do my best to give you titles that give you a small glimpse into what is happening during these activations. So that's 6.5 hours of very intense, high frequency, multidimensional activations to upshift, clear, and realign your systems. And then I also have, as part of this package, the daily infusions of light. And this, to me, is cornerstone. Okay, this is cornerstone. This is as important as water, food, brushing your teeth. I mean, it should be something you do daily, hence daily infusions of light. And it's a simple 6-minute process of having the conversation on a conscious level with the consciousness that is your body. Okay. The body is the vehicle for this process. It is what holds our consciousness. And so it's a daily energetic process or activity, if you will, where you go in and you consciously direct your body with what you want it to do so that you can continue to stay upgraded every day at the best level that you can. It's talking to all of your organs, all of your glands, the cellular structure. It's talking to really the consciousness of this vehicle that is your divine vehicle, i.e. your body. And so this helps you to kind of shift out of autopilot. Okay. It's about you taking a conscious role in upgrading this body every single day. Okay. And so that is the package. And I'm really excited. It's a great place. If you're new to my work, this is a fabulous place to start, even if you're not new to my work. These are awesome activations that can be done over and over and over again to really help you continue to raise your consciousness, raise your frequency, move through situations, because we all know we can go on a really big high and then we come back and we go to work and we go to the grocery store and we have to do our laundry and we have to go, all these daily things that can pull us out. And this is about helping you stay there, even in the mundane, regular life. And that's to me what the ascension is all about. Staying in the state of consciousness, connection, awareness, guidance, alignment, all day, every day.
I love that. Thank you so much, Raquel. And for all of you watching, I recommend that you click on the link that I have sent you in today's email and go and have a read. Go onto Raquel's site and have a read of this incredible offer, because there's a lot more details as well, so you can process that and see if it's in resonance. And there's a special offer for everybody who is in this summit, and it's an amazing discount of 30%. So normally this package, if you were to buy it outside of this summit, it would cost you $335. But Raquel has very generously put it together and offered it to all summit viewers for $97. So it's down 30%. So click on the link, go and have a read through on the website, see what you think to that. And that is an incredible offer. So thank you so much, Raquel, for putting that together for everybody.
My pleasure. And I hope everybody really can benefit. I know they can benefit. I hope they follow their hearts.
Apps is always the way, right? Always the way. Thank you so much. It has been a genuine pleasure meeting you, connecting with you in this way, interviewing you. You are, I'm a self-proclaimed indigo. I'm an empath. I can tell who is genuine and who is not, and you absolutely are 100%. I can tell that about everything about you. So thank you, Raquel, for showing up with your authenticity and for being you.
That's why I'm here, and thank you for having me. And it's been a pleasure, everyone.
So thank you to everybody who has tuned in to watch this incredible interview today. Please do reach out. Let me know what you thought to this interview. What was your favorite takeaway? What did you think to Raquel's story? And what do you think to Raquel's explanation of the ascension process? Perhaps it resonated with you, and I hope it helped you to understand a bit more about what is going on, and to reassure you that you are not mental. Always good, right?
Always good.
So thank you so much to everybody. Please do join me tomorrow for another incredible interview with another incredible leader, teacher, or way shower. I look forward to connecting with you again. And thank you once again. And thank you to Raquel.